If you're getting touched too much in sparring and can't control the range, this is a blueprint for you. Today we're breaking down Tenshin's four pillars: high hands, foot feints,
To the body for either fighter yet. How
frames, and the anti-clinch. Stay tuned so you can steal these for your next round. Let's get into it. All right, so we have Nasukawa here, initially starting off with what I like to call high hand position, high hand package. His whole job here is to get his lead hand over the top of Asilo's lead hand, right? What this does is it's an immediate jab defense. Big thing is it takes up the space in between. It takes up the airspace, right? So we clog in the punching lanes, especially with this jab, or I'm not going to say hooks, but it kind of slows down what goes on in that area, right? And so with that situation, let's go back and take a look. This allowed Tenshin to get off an attack, right? So think about it like this. That hand's coming out is stopping someone from jabbing you in the face, right? If he's hitting your hand, he's not hitting you in the face. Okay? Allowed for Tenshin to throw the 1-2. Asilo didn't do a bad job of trying to get a hand on Tenshin, right? Again, another scenario. High hand. His hand is higher than Asilo's head, right? And he's also creating a target for Asilo's jab. It was a simple thing that we saw with Terrence Crawford versus Canelo. We see Mayweather do it a lot. Shakur Stevens, right? They'll put these hands out. They'll start pawing into the air or giving a target for their opponent to hit that's not their head, right? So you can start to add this into your training. If you think about it, it's one of the easiest things to do. It works exceptionally well in southpaw versus orthodox stance, right? Because Nasukawa here is the southpaw, so it works really well in this stance just because Nasukawa is taking control of the airspace and he's giving Asilo a target to punch at, right? Which is making Asilo happy. He feels like he's working, and it's not really one of those things where you can get in trouble for being inactive. And again, you see exactly what I'm talking about. So another good thing about this is we know that most people's their jab is the beginning of their combo, right? Most people don't start off a combo with their a rear hand or a hook. It's not as often as they would start off with a jab. So with that being said, look at the position. Look at how big Nasukawa got right here, right? His chest is down, but his hands are up. It made Nasukawa, I don't know how tall he is, 5'6"? It made him look like he was 6 feet tall with his hand that far above his head. And look at the reaction that it drew out immediately, right? Asilo stood up. He had to change his posture. Still going back. So right here, Asilo is looking like he's stalking. Let's go back a little bit more. Asilo standing in front, right? Hand goes high. Asilo notices it. He does it. He punches to it before he throws his attack, because your number one attack is throw the jab first, right? The jab, then the rest of your combo. 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2 to the body, 3 up top. Okay. So with that being said, situations like this, you can start to slow down. Actually, let's look at the inactivity that is caused by this position, right? Let's look at the inactivity. When we get into these positions, it slows your partner down. It slows your opponent down. You're taking up the space is like your punch is going already. And look at the inactivity, right? On top of that, being that it's a southpaw situation, southpaw versus orthodox, let's look at this again. Look at how far Asilo has to go to throw his right hand, to land his right hand. Is giving Tenshin plenty of time to see what the next punch is. right? Let's run it back. Tenshin goes. He draws the punch out from Asilo. On the way back, Tenshin tries to jab to his head. Asilo gets out of the way of it, lowers his level, throws the right hand. But Tenshin, having good balance, right, being in good position, he's able to see that the return is coming and escapes out of the way. Now look at how far off balance Asilo is. He had to sell out on that, right? He had to sell out on trying to land his right hand to the body. That's a horrible position to be in against someone as fast as Nasukawa. Let's get back to it, right? There goes the counter. High hand, high hand, high hand. Look at the inactivity that is causing. So another pillar that Nasukawa added to his game, and I think is because of kickboxing, if he finds himself in a bad position, he will retreat and find good spacing or good range and create good distance in between him and his opponent so that he can reset on his own terms and walk back in and start to navigate the situation that's developing in front of him. So let's watch it. So here we got him retreating. A high hands package, right? It's a good way to lead into this. He's starting to back up. He's conceding. Then he escapes off to his right. Look at the distance that he has when he resets, right? You can see it from here. Asilo is doing a good job. But look at how far Asilo is. Asilo tried to pin him in the corner. And look at the space that Nasukawa creates, the distance that he creates in between him and Asilo, so Asilo won't be able to just walk in and land a punch while Nasukawa's hands are down. This footwork scheme is called a round the ring drill, okay? Let's look at it all. Oh, I like this. Okay, so Nasukawa escapes. He backs out. He's walking backwards. Look at the defensive mindedness look at his defensive mind right here. He's got his hand in the middle of his head, ready to defend against a straight punch. Boom. Then gallop out to his right and reset. And then he's right back on to steal the momentum back from Asilo. Asilo just had momentum by attacking him up against the ropes. Nasukawa backs out, defends against the right hand, and then gallops around the ring to his right, which is the safe side, which is to Asilo's weak hand, right, his lead hand, and then comes back in with a jab to go ahead and steal the momentum back. Again, here we see Nasukawa jabbing backwards. Jabbing while going backwards. He gets hit, right? Asilo does a decent job of closing the distance. Nasukawa, he gets hit. He can't get over the top with that right hand, so what does he do? He converts it into a post, a frame, and he starts to escape out to his right yet again. Right, his left hand is up to defend against Asilo's long two. Around the ring, ghost step, back in the fighting stance, ready to go. Look at the amount of distance that he created. You can get time to see whatever is going on right after this, right? Don't let anybody draw you into a firefight. And that's what I noticed about Nasukawa. He won't let anyone draw him into a fight that he's not willing to be in. Gallows forward. Escapes off to his left now. Jabs to stop him from coming back in. Okay, now let's focus on the foot feints of Nasukawa. This is one of the big things that he's been that he does, right? And it shows that he's got a decent footwork from kickboxing, right? So he starts to use his feet, then get the jab off, right? So let's go back and look at that again. Potentially one punch, potential two punches, boom, then land the jab. Look at his agility here. Right? So he foot feints. Start from here. Foot feint. Look at this body position. His chest is down. His eyes are up. His hands are ready to catch and defend whatever punch is coming. Right? Asilo throwing his jab out. Nasukawa slips. He pulls off the jab. Pulls off the jab. Slips to his left. Tries to get hands on. He's like he's trying to throw a jab to meet the cross. Right? Get his hands off. Framing, trying to throw a punch back. Asilo's doing a good job, having eyes on as well. Way to go. Now, usually I'm not a fan of this right here, but if it gets someone to react, if you can create a feint with that, I mean a reaction, if you can pull a reaction out of someone, man, it's good work. Jab to the head. Asilo got his head offline. Trying to throw up. Tenshin got caught. Right. It is what it is, but let's see if he returns. Boom. He returns and catches Asilo on the way out. Ooh, those feints. Let's look at with these foot feints. Let's look at the way Asilo's responding to it. Can go. Nasukawa steps in. Boom. Heavy feint. Look at the reaction that Asilo's giving right here. Instantly defensive. Nasukawa does it again. See if we can get another reaction out of it. We have a reaction. All right. So you use feints offensively and defensively. You can use feints offensively and defensively. Offensively, you use them to open up the space. You freeze your opponent so that you can create an opening, right? You bait a reaction with a feint so they can respond, and then you attack and exploit that that reaction that they give you over time, right? You usually don't just feint and throw punches. You usually have to set them up and see how they're going to respond to them, right? Defensively, how do you use feints? If I know someone is a heavy puncher and I started feinting at them, if I can freeze them for a second to get them to stop their forward momentum or stop offensive, and I could get them to freeze for a second to become defensive, then that opens up time for me to decide what I'm going to do next. All right. So that's what we see Nasukawa do right here, right? He's offensive, but I think these are offensive jabs because I'm pretty sure he attacks after this as soon as we press play. Nope. Defense. Yep. So those are offensive feints. Again. Just fast with his punches. Offensive. Look at that. Look at what we set up with that. High hand wins. Now, this brings me to the third pillar. What's going on, everybody? I'm taking a moment out to pause the video to invite you all over to my school community. It is free and it is called the Ludus Gladiator School. Every Sunday night, it's a live film study. You can join in and ask me questions and pick my brain about things. I also have challenges that I'm about to start up over there. The first one is going to be a footwork challenge. Again, the name of the school is the Ludus Gladiator School and the link is in the description. Thank you very much, guys. And back to the video. Peace. The third pillar is Nasukawa uses frames and post very well. Okay? So, with that high hand package, the high horns package, trying to get lead hand control, right? He uses that to bait out a punch from Asilo. Asilo throws his jab. Tenshin just gets his head offline just a little bit, gets a hand on it and gets his head offline. Boom. And now look at this position. The frames, right? Let's speed it up. Asilo is rolling like it's a hook coming, but it's nothing there. And what this does is it allows Tenshin to know exactly where Asilo is, right? He has a frame on the back now, but it was on the neck and the shoulder, right? Asilo's doing a good job. Look at how Tenshin shifts the hand. Boom, gets right back on that lead hand control. Asilo throws. Because of the frames, because of the lead hand control and frames, Asilo has to cover a lot of range to throw. And also look at Asilo's feet. He's kind of in a square stance right here, right? So his range is further than it usually is because he's in this square stance. But what that allows, what these frames that Tenshin is doing allows to happen is it allows him to see, think, and decide what's coming next. Boom, back out and post. Let's go back and watch that again. Frame, post, catch him. And then he posts on him again to stop him from coming forward after this scenario. Look at that frame. Look at that post that he's doing on his arms. Just in case Asilo wants to throw that lead hook. He got a hand on it. He put a hand on his shoulder to where he can't now just attack willy-nilly while he's in there. Again, frame. He finally found him. Nasukawa doesn't allow people to put him in fights that he doesn't want to be in, right? He wants to be there. Look at the eyes on. Pulling his shots back because he realizes he can't hit him, right? While we're trying to hit a moving opponent. So he turns him out. Asilo breaks. Nasukawa is on point. Looking at him. And then Asilo has a bad habit of what I say is lunging into his punches, right? It's a huge tail. Tenshin got his hands back out in front. Try to get his hands off. Let's look at it full speed. It doesn't look like he got hit too bad on that. He turned off of it. Hands up for the 3. Now, the next thing up is the anti-clinch. The fourth thing that I think that Nasukawa does extremely well, right, is the anti-clinch. As in, he can be in the clinch if he wants to, but he's good at breaking out of it. And again, I think that this is like a Kyokushin / kickboxing thing that he's brought over into boxing just because it's a little bit more physical in these other martial arts. And what I mean is, in Kyokushin, somebody can grab your gi and knee you in the head, right? In kickboxing, someone will clench the back of your head and throw a knee up the middle, right? Throw a knee to your stomach. So you really can't sit up here and you can't sit here and wait on the ref to come and break you. And you can't, this is the most physical you have to be in boxing. And what I see a lot of boxers do is they get into a clinch and wait on the ref. So we'll see in this position, that's exactly what Asilo does. But Nasukawa's ready to fight off the break, right? He's okay. He's comfortable in that zone, in that clinch. So let's go back and look at it again. Right? So he walks him back to the cage. Look at the hit. Look at the framing off his chest. He gets his hands to his shoulder, right? Shoulder, chest, clavicle area, if you will. Then his head positioning, right? His head positioning is good here. Look at how he's making Asilo stand straight up. His back is straight, and he's leaning. He's off balance. He's on the back foot here, right? Tenshin then creates space. He looks like the ref is going to come in. Hey, Asilo, you can't stop until the ref stops you, right? Don't wait on that. Look at the frame, the post, boom, right hand. Then he comes right back to dual hand controls. Eyes are on. Eyes are on, creating space. He's only giving Asilo one way to go, and that's back into the corner. Great, great, great ring generalship right here. And then jab him to stop him from coming forward. Again. 1, 2. What I noticed is that a lot of the best guys in the world, when they throw a 2 and they sell out and they miss it, what they do is they clinch up off of it, or get hand. I don't want to say clinch. Let's say they get hands on their opponent, because a cross could come back or a jab could come back faster. You can get your whole body back up, right? So if I throw a hard right hand at someone and they slip it, then I am out of position to try to get my hand back to my face to defend against whatever's coming next. What I noticed that some of the greats do is they'll clinch or they'll put hands on their opponent after they throw a punch that they miss like this, after they throw a long right hand, okay? So that's what we just saw Nasukawa do, and he was able to follow up with something else after that and deny Asilo the clinch. Head feint, all right. Again, get off of me. He's framing up against him and pushing back. All right, and these last two clips, so as a bonus, I have a lot of little nitpicky things that I like to bring up. First things first, what I've noticed about Tenshin and some of the negatives is if he's not first, like, he will make bad decisions, like level changing and diving in. He doesn't take up the space in between. So with the high hand package that he has earlier, right, when he's trying to get his hand over the jab, over Asilo's lead hand, he's trying to get lead hand control. He can typically start to set up his punches a lot better because he's removing a punch from the fight. Right, he's removing the hand from the equation. But from this position, we see he just lowers his level and Asilo decides to throw on throw. Right, throw on throw. Boom, catches him hard and is not able to, he's able to recover, but it's not a good position to be in. Look at that. Good job for Asilo on that. Next up is, like I was saying earlier with the guard package, the high guard package, right? If it's inactive, right here, if it's inactive, this specifically is what I mean. If it's inactive, then you give your opponent what they want. This right here, your hands, your gloves straight together, blocking your head, that is a dinner time, right? We're open for business sign on your head. That's what it is. You're displaying that you're open for business right now. Look how many punches Asilo goes off on, right?